Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing another one of these vlogging, talking type of videos. I was at work and I have a tendency to just kind of put my headphones in, listen to podcasts or listen to YouTube videos of other people talking about things. And a video popped up in my feed by this one channel called Razbutin. Definitely go check him out if you haven't heard of him before. He makes a lot of great videos. It's the type of videos I like listening to where it's more just like being very analytical and looking at certain topics or things in gaming and just kind of talking about it, breaking it down, giving his viewpoint on it, and just kind of going in depth with stuff like that. If that's the type of the stuff that interests you, kind of like the videos that we do here where we just kind of talk, definitely go check his channel out. And I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube in general, even outside of that, just talking about this topic. And yeah, if you saw the title, have video games gotten worse, or has video gaming changed in the last couple of years? It's something that I know I've definitely thought about before, and I'm sure many of you have as well. And I don't know, I just kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit. So I feel like to first answer that question, has video games gotten worse, or is it just different now? Honestly, I don't think so. I think there is a couple different things at play. So I think the first part of it is there was a time where technology and gaming was advancing so rapidly. Like, the difference between consoles was so massive. You look at the NES, the SNES, or the PlayStation 1 to the PlayStation 2, or the PS2 to the PS3. These huge leaps where, like, PS1 was mainly, like, there was some 3D games, but it was very, just a lot of polygons and shapes, and looked a little rough around the edges. But then to the PS2, you get very much less of the geometrical looking people and more realistic looking things, and higher frame rates and just sharper textures overall, and just really smooth gaming experiences, and things getting more just vast and experimental as there's more power for developers to put all of their creative juice and energy into, you know what I mean? To like finally make these games they've been dreaming of making, but just couldn't on something like the PlayStation 1, to where we got games like GTA 3, Vice City, San Andreas, Resident Evil 4, just huge games, very ambitious projects that weren't possible before. And then of course the PS2 to the PS3, like I don't even, like, something like Uncharted or The Last of Us, good God, that would not have been possible on the PS2. And when with each generation, the power just kept going up and up. And now we're at a point where obviously in between generations, there's still decent leaps, but it's not as huge and as groundbreaking as they used to be. Like the Xbox One or the Series X, I mean, there's shorter loading times, higher frame rates, some sharper textures, higher resolutions, but for the most part, I mean, we've had some pretty realistic looking games even come out on like the Xbox One. I mean, look at any Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare just from like 2 years ago. It's the generational leaps are getting smaller, like the gaps in the power. And that's only because we were at a point where technology was advancing so rapidly, and then we hit this threshold where it's just like, dude, there's like we can keep going up, but I mean, we're getting there. Like, a lot of games that come out look borderline realistic, like The Last of Us 2, Ghost of Tsushima, Spider-Man, just literally any game that comes out that has a more realistic art style. So I just say that just kind of to preface the rest of this video, I guess, and to just kind of set up why I believe that people kind of have the connotation that video games have maybe gotten worse or less impressive, maybe, or just come off as kind of like the market's just getting like saturated. Because I have a list right here of like the greatest games just from 2005 to 2010, just to show how quickly and just how quickly things were advancing and how many great games came out so often. So we have 2005. Resident Evil 4, like GTA San Andreas. I'm pretty sure that San Andreas was 05. 06, we got Wii Sports, Elder Scrolls Oblivion, Gears of War 1, Lego Star Wars 2, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, Dead Rising. Really fun games. 2007, we had COD 4, Bioshock, Halo 3, freaking Super Mario Galaxy, Crysis, Mass Effect, Portal, Team Fortress 2. 2008, we had COD World at War, Resident Evil 5, GTA 4. 2009, we got Borderlands, Batman Arkham Asylum, Minecraft, Assassin's Creed 2, Modern Warfare 2, Left 4 Dead 2, Plants vs. Zombies. 2010, we got Black Ops, Fallout New Vegas, Red Dead, Limbo, Super Mario Galaxy 2, Mass Effect 2, Halo Reach, Battlefield Bad Company 2. Tons of great games coming out non-freaking stop. And as video games have evolved and technology has become more widespread and more developers have come into it as gaming has just gotten bigger and bigger and blown up to this huge scale to a point of where even your grandmother's probably playing video games or has played them at some point. Obviously the market's going to get more saturated. The more video games that are out there, the more chances of video games becoming more repetitive or the same ideas being practiced or the same functions and mechanics being practiced are going to be put into play, especially when you have these bigger AAA corporations that kind of shape the gaming industry like EA or Activision with all these microtransaction scandals, and unfortunately even people like Rockstar kind of falling from grace and falling into the whole microtransaction, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, releasing GTA 5 for the third time. Yeah, you know what? Back in the PS2 days, we had 3 GTAs for one platform. This time, we got one GTA for 3 platforms. Another point I'd like to touch on is the fact that when gaming was like slowly kind of, I can't say slowly, but as it was getting bigger and bigger during the PS1, PS2 days, obviously these were whole brand new ideas. This was just like at a point of when video gaming was still relatively new to the household space, you know what I mean? Just where everybody can access these types of things at homes, because before all you could do was go play like simple arcade games like Pac-Mans and your whatevers. But then obviously as it became more mainstream and more people got access to it, all the ideas and all the games that were being created were entirely new. But now at this point, like I've said before, there's only so many, like, it's only so often that somebody's gonna get a great, just fresh new idea for a mechanic or an IP. And obviously nowadays we still do have them come out, but it seems like it's more, I don't know, it's longer spaces in between those really great games that used to grip us, you know what I mean? And I do honestly just believe it's because gaming has become such a wide mainstream thing where it's either you got your indie developers that are developing really great things and don't get enough recognition, or you got AAA studios getting way too much recognition releasing garbage, or your AA studios releasing games like Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice or A Plague Tale: Innocence that are just not going to get played by the majority of people just because they are a AA title. And that's another thing. Back in the day, I feel like another reason why gaming may feel a little bit more stale nowadays or different is just because back in the day, there wasn't really this whole AAA, AA, whatever, indie thing. It was like, if I open up my PS2 games, I bet there's more AA games than AAA games sitting in there, you know what I mean? It's because we weren't really focused on that. We weren't focused on who was making it, what's great, what's new, what's big. I know, especially for like my time in my era, it was always just go to GameStop. What can you afford? What looks cool? That's a Star Wars game? I'll grab that. Oh my god, what's this? Friggin' Metal Gear Solid? Let me grab that. And then you got like your smaller titles. I can't really think of any at the moment, but you know what I mean? Like you'd be like, oh, okay, let me try this, and it's like, whoa, like you got a game like Psychonauts. That's a beautiful example from like the I forget. I'm pretty sure that was 2005. Totally slept on. It's a AA game, but I mean, it had its niche, it had its audience, it had its dedicated fan base. And I mean, when Psychonauts 2 released, that whole fan base went crazy while the rest of the world was finally hopping onto this train and be like, whoa, this is amazing. So, I mean, we also have to remember that there's a lot of people that talk about this and say video games have gotten bland, but they are mostly like Call of Duty YouTubers, for example. Like they'll play the same franchise for a decade and a half and then be like, video game is not the same as I used to be. What happened to the old CODs? They were so good. Modern Warfare 2? I could stay up night after night after night playing it, all night long till the sun came up, and I did it with Black Ops and Modern Warfare 3. And then like nowadays with Cold War, I can't really. And the thing is, if you play the same game, obviously a new COD game comes out every single year. But if you're playing the same type of game, same genre, over time you're going to get bored. Things are going to start to feel stale, even if the games are new. That's just how it is. It's because obviously the games are just very similar in formula. And I feel like that's another problem. People just kind of cling on to their nostalgia and know that they like what they like and don't branch out enough. And that is why video gaming has become stale or somewhat boring to them, or they just don't get to experience a lot of the good games that come out. And again, I feel like part of the reason why video gaming may be kind of stale for some people is simply because there's this huge stigma where if it's not AAA, I don't really want it. And the only people that play the AA or single A indie games are that niche audience that go out and actively seeks things like that. Because those games are always out of the limelight. And with the way social media is now, if you're not playing the game that's in the limelight, then what are you doing? That's why lately I've been branching out and trying to play more indie games, play more low-key games, or just games people haven't really thought of or played much with smaller communities, and just really getting invested into them and just being like, wow, how haven't I played this before? And I still have those wow moments I used to have as a kid where I'm just like, holy shit, this is awesome. And I feel like if more people would just open their minds and be willing to try new games, new genres, new things, at least for like 20 minutes, just give it a shot. Like, if you have Xbox, get Game Pass. There's so many great indie games and AA games and just even AAA games on EA Play, just stuff like that. Like, just go outside of your comfort zone. And yeah, I feel like that's another thing. People are so scared of wasting their time, they never go outside of their comfort zone. So when we look at games today, too, I mean, there's still great games coming out all the time. Like I said, the Spider-Man games, all the Sony exclusives. You got your Horizon Zero Dawns. You got your Ratchet and Clanks. You got your, oh, wow. I just blanked really freaking hard. But there's always great games coming out. For some reason, I just can't think of any at the moment. But there's great games always coming out. And you just got to open your mind. So to wrap this video up and to just kind of sum everything up, I don't think gaming's necessarily gotten worse. I do believe it's gotten more saturated. I do believe there's more recycled games, concepts, and ideas out nowadays. And I also do believe that it is the players to blame in a way for kind of putting themselves in that mindset, just for wearing themselves out on certain genres or things and not really experimenting all too much. And yeah, but to another extent, I would agree that like greatest of all time worthy games don't come out nearly as often as they used to. Like I said, back in that 1 year, hold on, let me pull it up again. I think it was 2009. Yeah, Batman, Borderlands, Super Mario Galaxy, or no, Assassin's Creed 2, Modern Warfare 2, Left 4 Dead 2, freaking Minecraft. Like, yeah, we don't get bangers like that like year after year like we used to back in the day. But I mean, every year we still have a bunch of great games, so I don't know. That's just me. Just wanted to spill my mind a little bit, just talk about it. I thought it was a really interesting concept, really interesting topic, so I just wanted to talk about it. So this is where you guys come in. Go down in the comments. Let me know. Do you think gaming has gotten boring? Do you think it's gotten worse? Do you agree with some of the things I said? There was a lot of other things I think I wanted to touch on, but I was stupid and I didn't Every time I make a video like this, I gotta remember to organize my thoughts because I always end up running in circles and giving myself a headache while I'm talking because I have so many different topics, so many different things I want to touch on, but I never end up getting to them. And then when I try to remember them while I'm talking, I just stress myself out. So I might have to make a follow-up to this video if those things reappear in my head. But anyway, as always, a shout out to my one and only Patreon, Karma's Favorite Grandma. Thank you so much for the support. But with that, that is going to do it for this one. I hope you all enjoyed. Please remember to go down below, like, subscribe, comment, share this with your friends. Remember, I post daily at 7 p.m. So we'll see you guys back here tomorrow. And yeah, that's it. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Peace. I'm all alone, I walk alone.